As part of our 20th anniversary celebrations in 2024, Pharos Architectural Controls is spotlighting 20 people and projects that have helped to shape our company and our products and continue to inspire us every day. Tim Edwards from Pharos and I are really excited today to be joined by Michele De Lucchi from Primo Exposures to talk about his experiences working with Pharos on the prestigious Bridge of Peace project in Georgia. Hi, you both. It's really great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. I mean, let's just dig straight into it. Marco, if you could tell us a little bit about the history and context of the Bridge of Peace project and your role on it, that would be great.
Right. I got involved via my dear friend Philippe Martinaud, visionary lighting designer. Actually he passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately. He got me into Georgia first to do the TV tower, to help out with focusing on the TV tower, because I was already working more on architectural work as he did. Then we got the MIA building, Ministry of Internal Affairs, in 2008. It was my first encounter with Pharos. Philippe got Pharos there. We got the LPC1 for about 900 units, all white. And the second project followed very quickly. There was the Presidential Palace in 2009, another LPC1. And then at the end of 2009, in December, we got the first calls for the Bridge of Peace. That was in December 2009, and we started with the final design and final production in February of 2010. First shipment went there beginning of March. Last shipment went there beginning of April, and we finally commissioned the whole thing the 6th of May 2010. So actually 6 months for us, 9 months for the architect, Michele De Lucchi, very famous Italian architect. He started a couple of months before. We got a glass parapet, toughened glass, and with in between LEDs, 2 times 175 meters. That's the span of the bridge. And we got them. We had about 1,250 units in the Meccano, in the roof section, to illuminate all the triangles. And another trick was 195 or almost 200 sensors in the floor to make the programs following the pedestrians who walked over it. That's in a nutshell. It was set up. The whole bridge was built,
and then
well
shipped
together in near Venice, in Verona, in Italy. Mm-hmm. It was all built, then cut in pieces and trucked in 200 trucks to the site, and there was constructed back together again. Added the glass, added the lighting, all the electronics, all the cabling, and then the whole bridge was pontooned over to the other side. And then we finished the construction, and then Tim came in.
Wow, that's incredible. Like, it sounds like a huge project in scale, and obviously in delivery as well. What was your role on the project?
I co-designed with Philippe. We produced we had the fixtures produced. We engineered the complete system, and finally we supplied, and we did on-site management. Wow. That's about it. Yeah, pretty big job, and a lot of fun, and very nice country and city, actually.
Excellent. And Tim, kind of bringing you in on the action as well. Like, can you tell us a little bit about how Pharos kind of came to the table, and what kind of capabilities you were able to kind of bring to the team?
Absolutely, yeah. I vaguely remember this project coming in. I saw the drawings, actually. I think it came into my colleague Liz's email, and I remember her showing me it, and just the drawings alone kind of piqued my interest. And anyway, eventually I ended up kind of leading from the Pharos side on the project. So yeah, from a Pharos point of view, I think there's about 8 or 9 LPCs, whether they're ones or twos. There's a bit of split. Quite a lot of Rios on the job, which were how many?
27.
27, very good. Rios, most of which are doing inputs from the sensors on the bridge parapet. Excuse me. So yeah, I guess from a Pharos point of view, we did this job effectively as a kind of 2-phase project. It was back in the days when we used to actually do on-site commissioning. We don't do that so much more anymore, sadly. Yeah, so we were on site. The first phase was to commission up the roof, which I think was only a couple of LPCs up there.
Yeah,
but
3.
Yeah, 3. But that phase of the project was great. It was one of those unbelievable nights where you just plug the system in, all the controllers appear, you do an upload, and the whole system just works instantly. And yeah, but it is testament to Marco and the team that that so rarely happens. So phase 1 was beautiful. Very much enjoyed that. Early night, quick drink in the bar. Thank you very much. Go home. Later on, we then came back for phase 2, which was very different. Lots of a lot more challenges on the second phase. I mean, the system was much more complicated on the bridge itself. The roof was quite a straightforward job, but just lots of technical problems. We had lots of issues with earthing or the lack thereof of earthing. So that upset quite a lot of our gear. But once we'd worked out why there was no earthing, there were some interesting solutions, including a cable dangling off the bridge down to the river. Yeah, to give us an earth. So that was a first. Every day's a school day. Luckily, I think that was temporary. I think they did actually sort us out with a proper earth longer term. But once we'd kind of got through those issues, it was just the scale of it as well. That many inputs coming into a system. There's going to be miswires, there's going to be things that aren't right, but we got that. Once we got past the actual earthing issues, things started to move quite nicely. So yeah, that was quite I remember the second visit being quite challenging because time was tight, there were some deadlines.
Deadline.
Because
they needed to open it. It was 26th of May or something.
Yeah, there was definitely a hard opening, and it was tight to get it all ready by then. But we managed to get it somehow. So that was awesome. So yeah, in terms of like the actual challenges from the Pharos point of view, there was a lot of sensors. So as you walk down the bridge, these beam brake sensors would track your movements in the glass LED down the side of the parapet. So there was a lot of sensor inputs. So we did that using scripting, which one of my colleagues, Simon Hicks, did. So there we just created a script that says this sensor is this group of lights, and you kind of duplicate that across the bridge. If you'd have had to done that with triggers, that would have been really messy. It would have been it'd have been very difficult to change. So if the lighting designer or Marco had said, actually, we want the lights down 10%, you'd have to go through every single sensor's timeline to drop the levels, for example, and that would have been really cumbersome. So we managed to wrap all of that up within the scripting. So if that eventuality happened, it was a 1-line fix, upload, and away we go. So there was that. And then there was there was a fun requirement with the Morse code down the side of the bridge. So the idea was that the bridge would communicate with the outside world via the medium of Morse code. So there was some words that were put together, and within the Pharos software, we had to find a way to create a dot and a dash, and for that to kind of travel along the sides of the bridge with this message of peace. That was an interesting thing to work out, because we don't have a way of just instantly creating a dash and a dot that can travel down a row of lights. So We do now. Yeah, so we came up with the idea of we have a text preset that allows you to send text across a bridge across a set of fixtures. So what we did there was we created a custom font. So we picked two letters, one to be the dot, one to be the dash, and we created a new font that gave you that symbol. And then we typed very carefully the message in, checked it multiple times, and then we were able to get that Morse code message scrolling across the bridge. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting challenge, on projects like this, where we're taking concepts and ideas that we'd never really thought about when we were developing the product, and then having to kind of come up with a solution on the fly by adapting things. So yeah, it was really good.
You kind of pioneering, innovating on the job, which is incredible, isn't it? And I mean, Marco, from a collaborative perspective, and as the sort of as Pharos's client, and obviously delivering this project to your client, what was the feedback? Like, how do you feel now? It's kind of it's kind of bedded in and part of the kind of fabric of Georgia's kind of countryside. How do you feel about it?
It was one of the biggest. Well, I think the biggest project I have ever done, and I don't think I will be able to top that. And the support and feedback we got from Pharos, all together we made this work. In a time when LEDs just came in, it was 2009, so about 15 years ago. We were all pioneering there, and with support also, I have to mention, from a company called Reina in Holland, who made the electronics and the LED fixtures and everything, and the way they boxed it and prepped it for on-site for quick on-site installation was perfect. Otherwise, we would not have been able to do it with all these people.
Absolutely.
I think it is also testament to the products you selected for that job. We're 14 odd years from install, and as far as we know, all is well. I don't think we've had any of the controllers or Rios returned. To my knowledge, it's been a really solid job.
One has been changed because it was stolen, actually.
Oh, okay.
One in the pirate that got stolen, and that was all.
Everyone wants a bit of Pharos.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the Bridge of Peace as a project, though, I mean, we loved it because at that time, from a marketing point of view, it was worth its weight in gold, because it was a really sleek piece of architecture that was, lit really nicely. At that time, we were doing a lot of color change projects, and not to say there's anything wrong with those, but this really stood out as quite a classy, sleek looking project, and actually I think it has stood the test of time. I think it still looks it's still, even to this day, is right up there with some of the other projects you'll see, even internationally. I think that's the other thing as well, in the context of where that bridge is. You would, I haven't been back since we've done it, so maybe, I'm sure Georgia has developed more, but that project at that time was an amazing piece of architecture. It would have looked great in, frankly, any of the European cities. So just with the context of the building around it, it kind of linked the old city with the new city. It was just an amazing project to work on, and it really stunning piece of work. So very proud from a Pharos point of view to have been involved in that one.
Did you have a piece of the kit to show us? I know.
Yeah, we built this one in the 1,200 of these for in the roof.
Fantastic.
To illuminate the triangles, and we made a special louver on it, so nobody will ask. It's a word now we use, eye comfort, but we invented it then, actually. So nobody walking on the bridge will get glare or whatever in your eye when you walk through it, because of these pretty smart louvers.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Also, this system there was, because of these modules, we were able to design and manufacture those very quickly, and so we did.
Fantastic. That's amazing. I mean, it's so great to be able to kind of just have a pause and take a moment to go back and you know, go over the project and some of its peculiarities and challenges, and you know, as we say, you know, what a fantastic legacy as it's now kind of, you know, 14 years in and still kind of you know, creating a real spectacle for people to enjoy. And did you say that it's ranked as one of the like top footbridges in the world?
Yeah, but yeah, number 5 on the top pedestrian bridges in the world, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
And that's quite something, isn't it? That's really special. So I mean, we had to feature it, you know, in our project roundup for the birthday campaign. It's been you know, one of the projects that I know Tim is really proud of, and you know, as a company we're really proud to be you know, to be associated with the Bridge of Peace, and it was a pleasure to work with you on it, Marco, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk us through it again. It's been a real pleasure.
Very welcome.
Thanks as well, Tim.
No worries. Thanks.